it's nice that you have a question, just 2 weeks ago, you had no questions. Now you have. Good sign. It means you are going to learn.
Sir, we are live, sir. We can start.
Okay, I will get started, Dimitri. May I do
Please,
that?
do introduction.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are. Thank you so much for logging into this last live session of NPTEL's course on. Wow, there's some music. Sorry about that. So this is the last session of NPTEL's technology forecasting for strategic decision making. This session will primarily focus on our primary focus. Okay, is going to be on people who are taking the exams, and the exam we believe is going to be reflective of one recall, so that's going to be 50%, and the next 50% is going to be application. So this has been the general format that we have used to set the question papers. So if you, the best mode to prepare would be to first brush up on the assignments that were there in the course. And of course, if you have any questions, you can clarify that during this session or in the discussion forums. We are all looking at it actively for sure. So rest assured, give us a day or two, we will get back to you. Okay, definitely we understand your eagerness. So that's one thing. And the second half of it is going to be application based. So we are going to give you some snapshots of what it is going to look like so that you are better prepared for the exam. And as always, any questions on that also you can ask us during this session in the next 50 minutes or so, or in the discussion forum if you're watching this as a recorded session. Okay, so joining with me, of course, is Professor Dimitri from Strasbourg, France, and it's morning, a bright morning there I can see, and Siddharth also is joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you very much for everybody who is connected. I can see that at Zoom we have not so many participants, but I suppose the most curious are here. So that's why I'd like to answer first of all for the questions about Loglet. How do you use Loglet? Because as far as I see, due to the lack of experience, you have some claim that is not claim to software by itself, but more for our skills to prepare data. Let me give you an example. I'm going to share the screen and I'm going to use something that you can reproduce easily when you will be connected to the Loglet. Okay. First of all, as soon as I'm connected from Europe, I'm not connecting to the Loglet, which is well installed on the server of NPTEL. I'm using the Loglet, which is just geographically closer to me, okay? But this is the same, essentially this is the same software, okay? So, and look to us, for instance, for the, when you enter the Loglet, for instance, when you just enter this page, you have some exercise about sunflower. And using this simple sunflower data set, I will explain the pitfalls that you can face, and I can see according to questions we received that you faced with. Okay, first of all, if I just take this data, okay, and if I try to fit, first before fitting, I have to guess parameters. Okay, this is a machine learning software. It was done before these buzzwords about artificial intelligence, but this is really artificial intelligence because it takes a set of data and try to approximate as close as possible the particular mathematical function. Okay, good. So I guess the parameter according to my data, and I try to fit. And when I'm fitting, okay, you can see that I click to the fit, and it tells me, oh, sorry, the error appear. Okay, first, the error does not appear, but okay, it's appear. When I have a situation like that, what should I check first? I should check first my data, okay? Because normally the software is quite stable. Even if it is not commercial one, it is really stable software. Let's us see how can we resolve the issue. For instance, what are the causes, most recent causes to get this issue? Probably some parameters that you put, they are not relevant, okay? I suggest you just to reset, completely reset your model, okay? And put once again the data that you prepared, okay? This is the first. And if you do so, okay, you guess parameter, you make a feed, and your feed is usually wrong, because you can touch some option that you don't know how it works. So, the second idea, for instance, if in my data set, I change instead of point to separate digit, I put a comma just in one line, okay? So in this case, I will receive error. Please be aware that in the Loglet lab software, you use a point in order to separate digit and the comma to separate columns of data. Sometimes you can use no comma if the column are well organized. Okay, look, first I made this comma and I received the error. If I just remove this typo, okay, and I feed once again, everything is well here. Well, another issue that you can face with, for instance, sometimes when you copy paste data from Excel, you can you separate, you know, the digits, the thousands with a space. Okay, let me see what happens in such a situation. I reset, and I put, for instance, here 3,000, here 2,000, here 1,000. Okay, here, for instance, 2,000 like this, and here I put 1,000. Okay. So, and now if I will try to feed, okay, which set of data is quite meaningless, because this just showed me that I missed something between day 56 and day 63. I missed something a lot because the growth process cannot be go like that. By the way, just let's us try to test. Okay, it will go, and it gives me, but where is my diagram? You said. Okay, professor, where is my diagrams? Okay, you open the graphic option and you said, I would like to see the component analysis and I would like to see the Fisher-Price. And I fit once again. So I can see something which looks like strange according to the data that I put here. Because your data point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It means these data points, they were not even taken into account. The software tried to cut something which was not prepared properly. Do you see what I mean? But by the way, sometimes it's even don't, if it cut, it do it, but sometimes if you have kind of mix, something is separated and something is not separated, okay? You try to do things and you try to fit, and very probably you will have an error or something really meaningless. You see, this is absolutely meaningless. But this is meaningless not because software, because the data are not prepared properly. Have you got it? The second issue that you discussed a lot in forum, that you said that when you're trying to logistic substitution analysis and when you put your data, the software suggests different results when you run it several times. First of all, I would like to see your data, not your results. In the forum you published, 2 examples of results, which is really difficult to use to understand your issue. But the question is, even looking to these results, let me open just and share what I'm talking about. Otherwise, probably it will be difficult for people who didn't catch this question to understand what we are talking about. Yeah, I copied, but I didn't. 2 sets of results. Yeah, I don't see why it didn't copy in my. So I will open the forum directly. But why it happens that you have 2 sets of results. First of all, when I look to what you submitted, you didn't prepare properly data. Why? Because you include the column total into your data. Usually, when we prepare a data for logistic substitution model, okay, we have to prepare just data about technology, but we don't prepare the data about total. And as soon that you put, yeah, this is a question about, I'm just trying to find, because, yeah. When you prepare the data, you include, for instance, the data about technology 1, which is oldest one. It has to be at the left. After that, the second generation, third, and fourth. But you don't put the total. Let me find, if I can find it fast. The example which was submitted, look, I have different data for different feed. Once again, in order to answer this question properly, I would like to see the data. Okay, it's not foundable, really. Where is it? Just the place where there were 2 tables. Now I'm navigating through you, because when data prepared properly, okay, you will feed and you will have always the result. And if, for instance, for this set of data, which you can find.
Professor Dimitri, I have pasted the link to the message where the data is posted.
Yeah, in the chat.
In the chat, yes.
Now thank you. Yeah, good. Thank you, Bala, because I didn't find it. Good, I found it. Now I'm going to share my screen and just to, yeah, can you see my screen? Can you?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, we have exactly these 2 sets of results. Okay, passenger, mixed goods, shooting, siding, and departmental, and after that total. Okay, the total, this is something that we should never put into analysis. And of course, if we put different data into analysis, of course, we will have different results. But the question is, in order to properly answer for this request, please submit the data with which you had problems. And once again, the software is quite powerful, but it works always with meaningful set of data. According to my understanding, I don't understand how can you compare passengers with goods, okay? Because here you have, in comparison, absolutely different things. So, sorry, but to answer for your question, is not really possible according to what you submitted as your problem. And of course, if I just come back to my loglet analysis, when you're preparing the data for logistic substitution, you have to be even more rigorous in comparing. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Sorry, before you start on this, Dimitri, the different data that they have used, not the total, but the different data that they have shown in the forum, I had used that in the video as a demo. So that's probably where they're looking, just to show that different types of data can be compared at the same time. So it is not meant to be an exhaustive study of how data should be compared, but how to use the software. So that's the disclaimer I have. Yeah.
Yeah, but the first thing, for instance, if I took example from logistic substitution, we have 4 different music technologies, but all of them for the same function: vinyl, cassette, CD, and download. They are technologies to store and produce recorded music. Okay, and this is the first thing. The second thing, and you can have slightly different results. Just look the results that we have, and if I will fit it once again, in order to improve, once again, this is a machine learning software. It always tries to improve performed result, and it improves in order to reduce R square. Okay, I just opened the statistical parameters. And for some of you who already have a certain background in statistical analysis, probably you can understand better what is MAPE and what is MAT, but in both of our course, we are not going to discuss about, okay? In order to simplify things, because our course is mostly how to use result of the fit. So this was my trial to satisfy your questions as much as possible about using the software. All the time, my students, they have error or something not meaningful. All the time, the root cause of this error in the prepared data. This was what I learned since last 7 years, let's say like that.
Just to add to what you already said, Professor Dimitri, is that this software is quite robust. It is useful. You don't have to install. We picked the software for all those reasons mentioned. And if you find that there is some aspect that you're finding it troublesome, yes, do go ahead and mention that in this software. I'm sorry, in the discussion forum, and we definitely take it back to the university which has provided this software to us. For sure, we'll do that. For legitimate requests, we don't have any problem doing that. But like Professor Dimitri rightly pointed out, quality of data is important, in fact imperative, that you have good quality data to get good results out of it. And the demo was meant only for that, how to use the software, and not as a study on its own. It was not my trial to compare Indian Railways, passenger traffic, and to predict that. No, by no means I was trying to do that. If you got that opinion, I apologize. So that's not the intention. The intention was to show you the features of the software with some data that is there out there. So, but if you had to take it as a complete tech forecasting case study, you have to start off with the first step. And go through all the steps of technology forecasting. And then when you reach the data analysis part is when the software comes in. Very, very useful, very powerful stuff, very useful. But if you have the wrong question, the wrong data, it'll give you all meaningless results, and you'll be stuck with a recursive loop of nothing. So that was, I thought I would mention this because I have gone through these steps myself. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Bala. This is exactly what I tried to say, and thank you to reformulate it and address the same message for our attendee. Well, and now I also collected some other questions which are not about software, but about making assignments. And like somebody suggested the questions, the answer for the assignment, when assignment was already submitted, and asked, can it be reevaluated? And so in our practice, we don't make reevaluation of assignment. I suppose from administrative point of view, the Professor Bala and Siddhar, they can answer much better. But the main idea is you make assignment. First of all, if you make assignment, you are allowed to make the final exam, and final exam can be meaningful, okay, because you'll be evaluated on the basis of final exam, as far as I understood. But please correct me about, because this is quite sensitive point. Could you explain it, please?
Sure. Yes, this is something that we have been hearing this question for a longer of time. I missed assignment 1. I missed assignment 2. Can I retake it? I took, I got X marks and I'm not happy with it. Can I retake it? Unfortunately, we are not allowed to help or let one of or a few students retake those assignments. However, okay, the weightage given to the assignments overall, and we get 25% of that. Okay, of course, we have a passing criteria even for the assignments, but if the rest of your assignments are all right, if you've done well, and you've scaled that qualifying percentage, I think it's 15 out of 25. If you get it right, you're past that pass. You can totally focus on the final exam because it has 75% weightage. Okay, so that's going to make sure that you scale or do very well overall. Okay, so keep in mind that you can still do well in terms of the assignments itself. For sure, you can definitely do well if you do well in the final part of it. However, there is a passing criteria even for the first. So there are 500 odd courses on NPTEL. You can't do a re-evaluation for each one of you in that. So it becomes a logistical nightmare for the folks at NPTEL. Okay, but they are considerate. Yes, Siddharth helps me out saying that 10 out of 25 is the passing mark. If you have 10 out of 25, 25%, that is, you're through, you're good to go. So you can now focus on the 75 that's going to come up. Okay, that's one thing. The second part is that the assignments, I think there is a best of 3 out of 4 or something like that is also there. Again, Siddharth, if you have something to, 3 out of 4, I think best of 3 is what we take. So even if you've missed one and if you've done well in the 3, good for you. You're through. Don't even have to worry about the 4th part. Okay, so that's something that I want to assure you, that you are in safe hands, and if you do well in the final exam and you've cleared the criteria for the assignments, you're good to go.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Bala. Thank you. This is I'd like just to come back to some questions about the content, and before shifting from my previous question about using the software that we suggested for your attention, it is not only the one software that you can use to work with these models, with logistic substitution model, or with some people who already have experience in using statistical software. They use other software. Some students, they even more advanced, they program the function by themselves. Okay, and if you are interested, usually within our workshop course, we provide the article to students that they can see the mathematics which is behind. Okay, so it's up to you which software you will use. The essential message of our course is that this model is useful. It is proved that it is useful. It showed reliability for strategic forecasting, technological forecasting. Now, another question that I would like to stop about fitting, and I would like to go to another question that I found very relevant to answer about difficulties. Difficult to forecast. It is difficult to forecast the distant technological future because of we lack data and information about the future technology because the technology is in the development and evolving. Is it right? No, it is wrong. In fact, our problem is not that we have no data. We have plenty of data. The problem is that our preconceived ideas. So that's why within our workshop sessions, what we are doing with students, first we learn how to deal with these preconceived ideas, with something that we have in mind. The second, you said, okay, professor, the technology is new. There is no technology on the market. How can I get the data? It's once again wrong. Why? Because the new technology usually substitute previous technology. And previous technology has a long history of evolution of the market. How do we find this previous technology? We find it by defining system. Do you remember in both of our course, we suggested for your attention, what is system and what is a function, video? We suggested for your attention. This is exactly the way, how do we define our system? You cannot find relevant data if you don't understand how previous system did work and how did they perform. So that's why the example about substitution of music technology is very interesting because it's simple to understand. Look, today you are not using probably downloading, you are using streaming, okay? And tomorrow you will not use streaming, you will use something different, but the function will be exactly the same. And when we properly define the system and when we properly define the function, we have a plenty of data. And we can forecast very reliably when new technology will start to grow, how it will grow, and when it will substitute existing one. This is for how it works in practice. Once again, this is introductory course. We have no opportunity within a short period of time to teach you about. But if you are interested in a workshop course, we suggest to work on your own projects. Okay, it's you who are going to define the system. It's you with, of course, our support. Another part of the same question, why forecasting is difficult. There is a limitation of time and money because collecting and building the list of drivers and barriers to forecast the future. Pardon? Excuse me, there were some noise. Okay. Raise your hand if you disagree or if you have a question. Now I try to answer the second part of the same question. The difficult to forecast the distant technology because of and second reason which is put on the table, there is a limitation of time and money because collecting, building list of drivers and barriers to forecast the future from technological, economical, social, environmental context take time and money. Once again, wrong. Why? I give you example, since 2015, every year we run technology forecasting course, 64 hours at Politecnico di Milano. Students of Politecnico di Milano collect list of drivers and barriers within 7 to 10 hours of the course with relevant results. The time and complexity of making analysis depends on required precision. Do you see? If I need to forecast, for instance, the future of technology within a precision of 1 year, this is one thing. If I need to forecast the evolution of the market with a precision, monthly precision, this is another situation. So for the relevant for strategic decision-making precision, it takes not so long time, okay? So that's why it is very important to understand that please don't worry. don't worry, it is feasible. If it is feasible for students, it is feasible for specialists of company even more. And we also run this research in future technology with dozens of industrial projects, and drivers and barriers from different perspectives. It is not most difficult part of the study, not most difficult part of the study. And for small and mid-sized companies, it's really feasible, because the methodology that we try to communicate, we try to share with you, it is designed for small and mid-sized companies, not for policymakers, not for big international institutions. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for your attention. Sorry, I told a bit long. So do we have another questions to, or probably Bala, you told us that you will show examples from exam.
Yes, that's exactly what I have in mind.
If you have no questions, it's probably good time to do so.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. Let me just share my screen real quick. I'm just loading it up. Okay.
I can share the screen, Bala sir.
No worries, no
previous
worries.
test.
I have it. I just have it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, all right. Oops, sorry. Yeah, so we thought we'd just walk you through one of the cases that we had in the last year's question paper. So this is something that is going to be in the application side. Like I explained, in our course. Let me see how to blank this out. Usually a B works, but doesn't. Okay, it does. Pardon me. Okay, I'm super new to Google Slides, so I'm tottering my way around. So anyway, as I explained early on, 50% of the paper is going to be multiple choice. I mean, all of it is multiple choice. The entire exam paper is multiple choices, but the first 50% is going to be based on recall. So whatever you've learned in the course, if you can remember things, that's what we're going to test you on all the phases and all the stages that we have explained in the course. Okay, so that's going to be the first 50%. So you have to be for preparing for that. To be well versed, look through our videos, watch through our videos. If you've taken notes, that will be good. In fact, some of our learners have come back and told us that instead of going through the videos, they go through the transcripts that are available for you to download from the websites. So that's a good way to sort of skim through and read through the salient points that are there. So I think that's a great idea. Go through the transcripts, and you can it will help you greatly in the assignments. That's one part of it, the first 50% of it. The second part of it is that the second tip that can help you with the first half of the question paper is going to be your assignments. So look through the assignments. Where have you done well? What have you gone? Where have you gone wrong? What can you learn from it? That's going to be your second part of it. For the second half of this question paper, it's going to be like this. So an example I'm going to give you is from our last year's paper. Is this person called David, who is a strategy consultant. So we'll give you a case like this. So this is going to be a sort of a descriptive case where you will take on a certain role. Okay, either in this case there are two people, David and Mahima. You could be David, you could be Mahima. Okay, so depending on how you set the rest of the paper, it's going to be like that. Or it could be but it will be a larger descriptive case. So you will read through this, understand the case, conditions of the case. In this case, it is a large corporation. It's a technology company which needs a certain job done with respect to technology forecasting itself. So now David, being the senior person, has to figure something out. I won't bore you. You can pause the video if you're watching this on a recorded session. But the idea is to read through this, understand the conditions of the case. Okay. Once you're done with that, of course, the questions start. It's not supposed to show you all the questions at the same time. But you can first say, for example, what is the first and foremost step that David should take up? Okay, so it is to understand, it could be something to do with the business scenario, or it could be the first thing about what David has to do. So think about what we covered in the first set of videos. That will give you an answer to what David should be doing. Now, I'm not going to give you the exact answer to this, but something for you to think about. This is how it's going to be. So you can look at what did David actually could have done in this particular context. So that's application number one. The second question is, okay, now that David has looked at the business scenario, what is he going to do next? Well, in the question it says system operator. So there is a video, or in a couple of videos, we have talked about system operator and how it is used. So what would be the sequence that we would have carried out? There could be a multiple options there, which would be right, and you pick one of those. So, for example, I'll be looking at the larger, vision, bigger picture of the case that he's working on. What are the components of this? What's in the future? What would have been in the past? So that would sort of what would be you would expect in the answers. Okay, and then the third question is, once the system operator analysis is done, he should collect all the problems. Now, once you have the problem, what do you do with that, right? So if you have gone through our course carefully, you would know that you have to define the contradictions, make it into a contradiction statement, and then with that you look at, that is what you have to do. You have to frame those problems as contradictions or conflicts of interest, or sometimes we call them, and that's going to be your next step, right? So if you watch the videos or read the transcripts and you've taken the assignments, you know this for a fact. Okay, and the last one, of course, it says, okay, now that you have problems, we have to do contradiction mapping. What does that really mean? And we have done this also in our videos, where you do contradiction mapping by piecing together the contradictions in a logical format and connecting them all, forming a large map. That's what we have shown you in the videos, and that would be some of the questions after that. Okay, so the responses would lead you towards, one of the right answers would be to lead you towards what is exactly contradiction mapping, and in this case, how does it really work? Okay, it could also be something to do with, after this could also be something to do with statistics or data gathering and fitting it into a curve, and then finally answering the business question. Okay, so some of these aspects we would test you on, or is the representative of one question, one type of question. But overall, in the second half of the question paper, rest assured you will find a case and following 4 or 5 questions which will test you on application of technology forecasting for strategic decision making. Okay, so that's my trial to give you a very quick glimpse of what you can expect. Again, read through the transcripts, read through go through your assignments, look at what you got right, what you got wrong. If you still have any questions, you can of course post them on the bulletin board, the discussion forum, and we will try to answer each one of them. We do look at all of this between the 3 of us. You would have had at least 3 or 4 viewings of your question. So if it takes time, it's because we are in different time zones or we are occupied with other things, but we will get back to you for sure. Before your your exam, we will try to make sure that the questions are answered, or at least point you to the right place. And if you had already answered this question, no problem. You ask the question again, we'll point you to the place in the videos where the question has been answered. Okay, so that was what I wanted to share with you. If there's something that Professor Dimitri or Siddharth you want to add to this, I'd be happy to sort of take it from here.
I just wonder, do we still have questions in the forum that we didn't touch in our live session?
Just let me look through. As far as I remember, we have delivered on what we have promised so far. So eligibility for marks exams, you should definitely take a look at. You should look at the homepage of the course itself. It gives you clear criteria on what is definitely pass and what is the criteria we consider. I think it's let me just refer to this again. It's 10 out of 25. So your assignments will be summed up to 25%. And if you got more than 10, you're clear. Okay, so no worries there. You can certainly take your final exam. And for the final exam, 75% is the weightage. I think our total marks will be 50 or so, but we have advanced enough calculators to convert 75 to 50. Yeah, I'm sorry, 50 to 75. Don't worry about that. We will do that. And if you got 30 or more in that, you will pass that as well. And overall, it should be more than 40%. That's your passing percentage. And statistically, if you've reasonably, done well in assignments, you tend to do well in your finals also. That's our general forecast based on our own experience from the last time's course. But yes, that's a question that I saw recently, Dimitri. So I don't think we have any unanswered questions.
According to my, thank you, Professor Bob. According to my last information that I have, we have a 55 learners who subscribed for the exams. Thank you, Thank you very much. It's interesting. It's interesting to see your curiosity. Just when I answered the question about Loglet, I was not sure how long time do we have, but still, if we have a couple of minutes, I'd like just to come back to this question, because some of students, they asked about, could you show us from Excel, okay, how do we prepare data and so on. So that's why I'd like just to share my screen now, and to show this from Excel very synthetic way. Okay, let us see, for instance, the story. If I'm in France, and if I'm interested to invest into the music listening industry in France in coming years, okay, today we are 2022, and I'm just interested how my return of investment will be. Okay, I can find somewhere in the internet this kind of data, which is okay. I can trust of this data because I can see from which source it is taken, and so on. So when I found this data, which represent the history of competition between downloading and streaming in France up to 2019, I can download this data, okay? And when I download it, okay, let us open the file and let us see what do we do in order to prepare the data, okay? I download the file, I open the file, and now just in live, I'm going to share with you what we are doing, okay? Can you see my screen, Excel? Is it okay?
Yes, we can see a screen.
Good. So this is a file that I download just from the place where you've seen just a couple of minutes. So what can I see here? Okay, just a second. Is it the file that I downloaded? Yeah, it is. What can I see here? Okay, this is a source, and here I can have the data. So this is a history about streaming, and this is a history about download. Let me make it bigger. Okay, this is a turnover of music streaming service from 2008 to 2018. Okay. But this data, it is not cumulative data. It's not something that I can put into logistic curve analysis. Okay. But by the way, let us see, for instance, about streaming. What can I do with streaming? Because this is now the mainstream according to the revenue. 2018, we can see that revenue was much higher than revenue of download. Okay, first of all, I'm curious to understand about streaming, how it will grow. Okay, what I'm doing, I'm just copy paste my history about streaming into the new sheet of data, new spreadsheet of data. Okay, and on the basis of this, I built cumulative. Okay, how do I build cumulative? I took the first year is equal, and the second year, the cumulative plus what I received from the first year. This is how do I prepare my data for logistic curve, S-curve. And here I have some problem, you know. The problem is the following. This is how data is formatted, because I already told you if you have separation, it will be not good. So you need to check and you need to remove this separator. And if I would like to just see more precision, I can add some digits after. So in order to use properly my loglet, what I'm doing, I use just my time series about cumulative growth. Okay, copy. And now I'd like to share my screen with another screen. Okay, sorry for this quite inconvenience with resharing the screen. Now I'm going to the loglet, and now I put my data that I prepared, and this is my streaming music France. Okay, and if I just check, this is €1,000,000. Okay, let me add this properly in €1,000,000. That's okay. This data prepared, and let us see how it works. Okay, I guess the parameter, and after that I make a feed. And what do I have as a feed? I have a result of the feed, which show me that upper limit of growth for streaming in France will be this value, and this is in million of euro. Okay, this will be somehow 3,535,000,000. And the midterm of growth already behind of us, this is a 2020, and the time of growth is about 10 years. So I know that I will arrive to the changes of the speed of growth in 2025. So I have 3 years of exponential growth of streaming music in France. So just in order not to complicate I remove the component, I keep just these two diagrams, because now I'm going to do something. Oh, by the way, let us check how the feed is okay from statistics point of view. Okay, how about R square? We can see that R square is quite close to the 1. Okay, so it doesn't mean that our forecast is good. No, it just means that our data fitted by function properly. Okay, we use a function and we use a data set. What is also good that we have a data set which is more than 12 data points. You see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, almost 12, which is pretty good from data point of view. Because if I just look to the confidence interval, for instance, I'm interested about 97% of confidence interval. And if I will make a fit, okay, in this case, I can see that the result, okay, the confidence interval doesn't work. In this case, I have to put another confidence interval, or to fit without confidence interval. Fitting without confidence interval, it works. Okay, 95%. Okay, it cannot fit this set of data for the required confidence interval. No problem. So this was my kind of trial to give you idea. And if I just look to the bell shaped curve, I can see that we are still according to the available data didn't reach the upper limit of rate of changes growth. But if you look to the timing, because here what we have a prediction, and what is a good practice to do. Okay, now you fit for with data until 2018. You can go and you can find more recent data about revenue of streaming music in France and check how your forecast is accurate. Because in fact, if you download Excel file, which is a result of the feed, I'd like just to show you how it looks like Excel file, because by itself it's also interesting. Okay. This is a result of feed. In fact, thanks to the feed, we have not only we use the data until 2018, and we have a data forecast. For instance, today we are 2022 and we are at the beginning, and this is a prediction. I believe that you can see my Excel file. Can you see? Can you see
Yes,
my table?
we can.
Yeah, we are at the beginning of 2022, okay, somehow here, and this is what was predicted in terms of revenue, cumulative value of revenue. Okay, and we can check according to the available data. This is how do we check quality of forecast, and how can we trust that our forecast, which was made on the basis of 2018, if it works pretty nice for 2022, so we can trust for coming 3 years. Well, this is from, we start with Excel and we finish with Excel, okay? And this is a result of our feed, which is good enough if you can make interpretation. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your attention. It was my trial
Okay,
to satisfy the requirement.
Thank you so much, Professor Dimitri. This is a great demonstration of using Excel, which is a popular tool to use data and visualize it. One thing I learned myself is that you can actually hide a row and copy and do this. This is a neat trick. I think that'll really help in. I always used to create a row in between and put the cumulative in there was very difficult to do. Rather do it wherever you want, but hide it all and copy and paste. Very nice. Makes life easier.
Thank you. Some of my students, they were even more creative. What they did after they received the result of feeds in numerical format from Loglet, okay? What they did, they built the diagram on the basis of this data. Okay, what do I mean? We still have a couple of minutes. I can show to our students what do I mean really, because you just use
or what not to do. I'm joking.
Yeah, or what not to do. Okay, yeah. In fact, if you just make it, let's try to do it. Yeah. If I take the data and can you see my Excel file?
Not yet.
Not yet? It didn't arrive to your screen?
Yes,
Did it?
yes.
Yeah, you can see what I took. I took the result of the feed, I select two columns and I build a diagram out of this result of the fit. And this S curve, this is all these things, this is a data point. But data point that I imported from the result of loglet. Okay, well, it's a bit more advanced version, but you can do it essentially. In the book of Mr. Modis, for people who would like to put their hands to mathematics of logistic substitution and logistic function, it is explained how can you use Excel for that. But you need to make some macros, you need to make programming of function, and so on. What do you ask to show once again? In the chart, I can see that the question about, just open your mic and say what you're talking about, because we are already 11. We have to.
Good evening, sir. This is Devashish.
Yeah.
Could you please show once again how you brought that graph along with that Excel file?
Okay. Well, let me see. I took this file I downloaded from Loglet. When I made my feed, okay, at the bottom side of the page of Loglet, you can download the obtained data as an Excel file. This is the first step. The second step, I took these two columns and result. This is a result of the feed in numerical way. I took these two columns and said to Excel, please build a diagram out of these two columns. And using this data set, I obtained this diagram. That essentially you have a data just until 2018. All the after is a forecast. It is not a fit. It is just to represent say this more nice way the result. That's it. Did I answer your question? Hello?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's not the fit. It's just the way how to put your fingers on them.
And I take the opportunity, sir, to appreciate both you and Professor Balarama Durai for this wonderful course. I really like this course, and I would look forward to the advanced course as well.
Sure.
As when it would come. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for your kind words.
The qualitative part is still need to be answered. We can predict how it will grow and when it will start to grow, but the part, what will be the next, we can answer also, very certainly. But this is a part of not introductory course, but another one, because it takes more time. Thank you for participation and for your curiosity.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, in this Zoom call, as well as people who are on the YouTube chat and people who have posted their queries on the discussion forum. Thank you so much. This keeps us, so we also get to know what parts of the course is clear to you, what is not, gives us a clear indication and helps us take action in that regard. We are also improving the course as we see. So this is the second time we run the course, so we're getting a good feel of what the course is. So again, if you have any questions around the exam or in technology forecasting in general, please do let us know on the discussion forums. We'll be happy to get back to you. I wish you, I join Professor Dimitri and Siddharth join me in wishing all of you best of luck for the exams. I hope you find it useful and fun to take this exam. So that's why have fun with technology forecasting. That's the best way to enjoy a course. So thank you so much, and see you around in the workshop in June. We'll be waiting to interact with you and make you apply on the technology forecasting cases.
Yeah. Thank you, Bala. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good luck.
Okay, bye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for your interest. Ciao.
Thanks, Siddharth. Thanks, Professor Dimitri. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thanks, Balaji. Thank you. Bye.